Hello, my name is Nathan Franzino. I'm doing my case study podcast for Phil 10, Section 81. What I decided to do today was focusing more on the psychology and technology usage. With that, we looked at a case study from the National Library of Medicine. Title was Social Media Uses and Its Connection to Mental Health, a Symptomatic Review. Based off the case study, right, we saw trends of how basically social media affects the mental health in a negative way. And with that, it showed increased anxiety, increased depression, increased levels of just stress. With social media, right, it presents a reality that isn't always true. We see the latest trends, the latest looks for based off the case study, we saw that women, right, have more of a negative impact on their mental health compared to men. This is because of the image that women have compared to other women. For example, she looks one way, so I have to look another. He or she, right, could have a social economic status of this, of traveling to Rome, doing this, having these type of clothes, where this person who's in a lower social class has that. So they are constantly in comparison with each other, causing them to, again, have this false sense of reality of, I don't possess these things, so therefore I am not happy. In our philosophy studies that we've noticed, we see the Socrates have a skepticism about the realities that people present as virtuous. To always be skeptic, to always doubt the matter, right? And I think that is something for us so we can protect our own sort of sanity and our own mental health. Something that I was raised upon, and I have actually a special guest with me to back me up on this with my brother, is we were presented on at the fact that don't believe everything you see on social media. Social media could be something that's very dangerous. And when I talked to my dad about this, he was talking about, the algorithm that we are presented is basically showing us that, how can I say, the algorithm is a tool where it's presenting a reality of what the world we want it to be. And with that, it could show us, right? It could show us misinformation of the information we want to hear versus the information we have to know or have to learn as critical thinkers. It also could present us stuff where it keeps our attention up and our attention for hours. Part of the case study, right, was showing that social media is dangerous because it is it keeps people on their phone for hours. It's not very productive. So again, I'm gonna have my brother with me, Andrew. So Andrew, what ways do you, basically me explaining all this, do you think social media is safe?
I believe social media is not safe solely to the fact, well, from my experience being around teenagers, I get the sense that a lot of people my age have a lot of time on their hands, especially if they're not athletes, and they use that time to scroll on social media, presenting bad habits and seeing a lot of stuff that they probably shouldn't be seeing if it's by comparing themselves or just stuff that's just bad for their mental health. And I feel like how you said, the algorithm, I feel like it targets people, especially teenagers, and it's just not safe because it's a lot bigger picture than what presents. So
Right. And part of the topic, part of the lesson plan that you showed us, Professor, was people are sometimes stuck in a dream. And I think a lot of people live in that false sense, kind of what you're talking about, Andrew. So now, Andrew is a senior in high school, or junior in high school right now. And he's also a student athlete. And where social media, for me, right, I'm a professional. I was a football recruiter. I use it as a tool. I use it as a tool right now, too, to present myself on social media as a professional on LinkedIn. And for that, I'm applying for, like, full-time jobs. Like Andrew was saying, it presents really bad habits for kids. it does affect people's mental health. As an athlete, do you feel like it affects your mental health? I mean, you're not.
I feel like it does, because like I'll see other athletes posting their highlights or posting their pictures like, dang, I should be upping my stuff, or I should be playing more like them, when in reality I should just be chasing my better self as opposed to trying to be like someone else and comparing myself to others. So I feel like it is a tool for me, but it also could be a distraction and a weapon at the same time. So
No, I like how you touched on that topic of how you try to use it as a tool, but your attention sometimes gets carried away into comparing yourself with others, because that's really what the case study was talking about. And it's honestly, it could be dangerous. Like, you have people on there for hours. It's super easy to doom scroll. I know, especially times in COVID where we're trapped in our house and just got nothing to do except for being on our phones. I mean, there's some good things that come out of social media. You could meet with people, or you could connect with people that you haven't talked to in a while. Like I said, you could use it as a tool. But again, the case study also mentions that face-to-face interaction is more of a powerful tool. It has a better effect on people's social skills, as people's more confidence. What do you think of that?
I like how you touched upon the face-to-face interactions, because I feel like during COVID and social media rising, I feel like that's kind of affected people's skills to work face-to-face. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're so used to being behind a computer, or, you know, being this this figure on social media that they're really not, like presenting themselves differently than they really are. So once they feel out of their comfort zone or meet new people, they don't really know how to act, because they're so used to being in their comfort zone with social media and acting a certain way.
Right. It's that false sense of dreaming. You're dreaming. You're not necessarily living up to what you're presenting on social media. And I think that really it causes a lot of people to, again, really try to be skeptic. Really try to be skeptic about what we present on social media, what we see on social media, what the algorithm is presenting to us, because again, there's an earning for us to see what we want to see versus what we need to see as humans. I think we really, like, for an example, right? Just doom scrolling through social media, looking at news. I'm constantly seeing false information about athletes or about celebrities. I mean, it's becoming something that's really affecting people, you know? Like, there's a comedian named Drewski. I don't know if you remember Drewski. They were saying that he's part of, like, the Diddy case and everything, even though he has no sort of, like, relationship with Diddy back in, like, 2018 and everything. And he had to back himself up, unfortunately, because he did turn into a public figure. What do you think about the importance of, like, fact-checking and making sure we're always skeptic about what we see on social media?
I feel like it's important to know what you're seeing and what you're processing, just because, like, I feel like the algorithm is always targeting what it thinks you like, and it knows you so much that it's giving you all this crap, and that goes on to addiction, right? You keep seeing all this information and misled, and now you're stuck, right? And now you can't get out of it because you're so interested. And I feel like that's kind of why they do that fake news, just to have that reaction and make you tap into that and actually read into it, because it's just wasting your time.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's bad. It's really bad. And
so that's interesting. Kind of the way you brought it up is more almost like an escapism of reality. With the idea towards addiction. I think that ideology is important to hone in, and I think the case study really brought that to light, and thank you, Andrew, for being part of the podcast. Professor, I had to ask him because you kind of, I don't have any partners with me, and with him, he kind of brings me a new sort of reality. He's living through life at a different time as I am. I'm a senior in college. He's a junior in high school, and we have two different realities. And like I said, I even included my dad in the conversation with asking him of, hey, why'd you tell us this as kids of don't believe everything you see on the internet? Because it's something that's real, and they were able to provide me valid evidence, and sometimes even different. Like, I liked how Andrew brought up a different theory of, sometimes social media could be a form of escapism. So I hope this helps. Thank you so much, Professor, again. Thank you. Bye.